everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Daily Scuba News. So 2 inquest reports, one into the death of a rebreather diver in Tasmania and another that of a British freediver in Greece, have highlighted the potential dangers of diving alone.
So the first inquest looked into the death of Eric Philish, who died on the 19th of November in 2016. He had decided to continue his dive after his buddy indicated that he was heading back. He then sort of pushed even further into a cave system, he was pushed into a cave system by a swell. He struck his head on the ceiling of the cave system and he unfortunately died.
The second inquest was looking into the death of 19-year-old Henry Byatt. He was using a monofin to freedive off the Greek island of Zakynthos, I do believe that's pronounced, in August 2017. He was found at the 30-metre mark, but sadly couldn't be resuscitated. I think he died on the way to the hospital, sadly. Although he had taken the right breathing steps, he had never been down that far before, and he was also alone when he attempted to reach that depth.
So this is where both inquests actually cross paths. They both say that if they had a buddy with them, they would have a greater chance at actually surviving. In fact, the verdict for both were accidental death, but in the case of Henry, it was noted that if he had a buddy with him, then he would be alive and well today.
So this really does echo back to a video that we made a couple of weeks ago. You should go on solo training to make you a more competent diver, but when you can, you should always buddy up because, well, in this case, it actually saves lives. Mark, what's your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so solo diving is, you just have no redundant backup. So God forbid something like this does happen, you just have this freak accident where swell pushes you into the roof of a cave system and that's it. If there is a buddy there, they can physically sort of help you out, but it's not until much later when, he hasn't turned up on time. So it's just that, yes, it's important to sort of become a higher level diver, so if something did happen, you could dive solo, you are self-redundant. However, if you have the chance to dive with someone else, then it's always a better option because you're that much safer. And even in free diving, with all sorts of tamponades and shallow water blackout, it's always important to have someone come down with you just in case.
Well, you look at all the free diving, just the tests and all the behind the scenes, or whenever they're doing an actual, depth thing.
Competition.
There's like 10 people. Like every time you go down, there's someone there on a ski-doo or something or whatever, just checking the person's okay.
Yeah, so they'll have free divers come down with them to start with, and then they'll have scuba divers at certain depths just to double check, and then they'll, as soon as they're coming back up, another free diver comes down, so they're coming up at the same rate. There's just a lot of redundant safety, and sort of going it solo is just not safe.
Yeah, and also as well, solo diving, I mean, I don't know about you, but we've been doing DSM for 2-3 years now, and this is kind of the time where it's now actually coming into the public viewing or the public limelight that it's actually quite a dangerous thing. Again, having the fact that you have these 2 separate cases, but they cross over with the fact that if they had someone with them, they would probably be, or at least one of them definitely would be alive today. So it's food for thought. You just got to be careful, and as I say, it's coming more into the mainstream now, which is good because, well, the more people know, the more knowledge people have, the better it is. They might decide, well, actually, no, maybe I will go back with my buddy.
Yeah, I'd rather cut a dive short by 5 minutes or something and go out with my buddy than risk whatever might happen. And unfortunately, yes, we're going to end our story right there. But what are your thoughts about today's story? Is solo diving really that bad? Do you do it? Are you sort of trained up to a certain tier, or should it just be, you know what, no, I'm going to come up with you?
Yeah. What's good though, like the comments in that video, obviously, that we mentioned, should you solo dive? There's a lot of people like, no, I solo dive, but I agree, you should have a buddy at all times, blah, blah. You know what I mean? There's actually a really good discussion. So
if it's available.
Yeah. So what I do, obviously, depending on what's put in the comments in this video, go check out that video. I'll pin it in the comments. Go check that out and see what the discussion is on that video, because that's going to have a lot more gravitas. That's going to have a lot more views because it's one of our Friday feature videos, so that's going to have more on there. So yeah, go check out that comment section as well, just to get the full picture when it comes to solo diving. Anyway, I'll let you carry on, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's have a chat about solo diving in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, safe diving.
A British submarine that vanished without a trace during World War II has been found lying on the seabed 130 metres down and 2 miles off the coast of Malta.
Okay, so the submarine set sail in late April 1942 when Malta was actually under siege from Germany, but it never arrived at its destination. And as Alana said, it's been